Good morning. Today we will move on to the second unit. Okay, so in this unit, I will discuss about the damage assessment. So in the first unit, we seen about the deterioration of concrete and what are all its causes, and then the type of damages which has occurred. So those things we seen in detail, and in this unit we will see about the damage assessment. What procedure we have to follow to move on with the damage assessment, and then what are all the different NDT tests available to do this process, and then how to conduct a visual inspection. Everything we will look into this chapter. Okay, so before entering into that, you should know one important term called conditional survey. Okay, so it is nothing but examination of concrete. Suppose if any damages is there, means what we should do means we examine that, why it has occurred, what is the causes for it, what type of damage it is, and what is the area where it is located, what is the intensity of the damage. So everything we have to examine, then only we can go for a repair technique or some strengthening procedures. Okay, so this assessment indicate whether the structure is satisfactory, or whether we should do a repair work, or we can go for rehabilitation, or we have to demolish the building. Okay, so in that terms, this conditional survey is very important. Okay, so with this information about conditional survey, we'll move on to the visual inspection. So there are many methods to do this conditional survey. Among that, the most effective and qualitative method is visual inspection, because if we see by our eye, then only we can think what is the intensity of damage, where it has occurred, whether it has occurred in a structural number or non-structural number. So everything we can identify only by seeing it. Suppose if a client over a phone, if you tell, okay, we have a crack in our building, you come and repair it, means you don't know where it is located, and also that type of oral communication won't give a proper idea what type of repair work to be done, and all these details, where it is located, whether it is located in a waterlogged region or near a bathroom. Okay, like that we don't know exactly. So for that, as an experienced engineer, we should go and it should be visited personally, and then only we should assess the problem. Okay, so it provides information about the workmanship. Okay, what is the type of concrete he has provided, skill of the labor used, and also the serviceability of the structure, and what is the mechanism. Suppose if any corrosion is occurred, what mechanism it has followed. So everything we can identify only by visual inspection, and it is like a quick scan. Suppose if we go and just walk over the building, you will come across many ideas why it has happened, what is the source. See, actually, if a water leakage is happening in a ceiling, where the source is, we can identify only by visiting and by seeing that building, and this can be done only by experienced engineer. A layman or a fresh engineer is very difficult. Only having a thorough experience, or under this area for more time, only he can able to identify the problem. Once we go and visit, only we can know actual bill, what is the cost of repairing that work. See, sometimes in surface we can see a small crack, but it is an indication of spalling due to corrosion also. So once you touch that crack, okay, it can prolong, and it can happen over an entire length, or over covers a large area. So for that, if you go and visit only, we can come to know what is the extent of the damage, and what is the bill for that repair of that damaged portion. We can assess it, and what are the tools we should take when doing the visual inspection. See, the most common thing we should carry in our hand is our measuring tape. So this tape is very important to measure what is, where the crack is located, what is the intensity, and also marker. Suppose if any minute crack is there, where we can see visually when we are very close to that crack means we can mark it and we can know whether the crack is due to deflection or due to shear failure, like that everything identify and we can mark it. And next, if it is still micro level, we can use a magnifying glass. Magnifying glass also we can use it to identify it. This is the magnifying glass. And thermometer. So what is the necessity of thermometer while doing visual inspection is that, see, there are some conditions or some environmental exposure condition is there where the environmental difference, temperature difference will be there. So what is the inside temperature, what is the outside temperature? So there may be a thermal expansion contraction will occur on the external walls of the building. So what is the inside temperature, outside temperature, and those things can be assessed by using only thermometer. And anemometer, why anemometer means, anemometer is an instrument to find the direction of the wind. So sometimes we can identify in few location where the direction of the wind, you consider a building. So in a building, okay, so if it is in the shape of, okay, like a channel it is there, so what will happen means there will be more amount of damage in this inner part. Okay, if you provide a opening, so all the winds will enter through this and will try to exit out. So in this surface we can see lot of spalling and corrosion might have happened when compared to other phases. Why means the wind has taken the direction to enter into this narrow path and then it will come out. So wind means you already know it has some humidity during rainy season, or during the early morning in winter season fog may happen. So in that the wind may have some amount of humidity in it. The humidity is more, it, that water molecules will always hit the surface of concrete, and that concrete, you already know it is in porous medium, it will enter the cover and then it will reach the reinforcement, thereby it results in corrosion also, corrosion. So when compared to this outer phase, it has more damages due to corrosion. So that and all we can identify only by means of anemometer, where the direction of wind is there, and not binocular. Why binocular is important is that suppose a failure has happened or a damage is happened in the fourth floor external wall. Okay, we can't able to provide an temporary scaffolding. So because we are doing a quick scan of the building, so for that purpose, okay, by using an binocular we can access that regions, and we can look into that places what type of damage has happened. And still more instrument is the telescope, like the binocular. Okay, we can use the telescope also to have a prior or in-depth look into the damages. And endoscope, see, sometimes there may be some hidden locations are there where we can't able to have access to that. So you know about this endoscope are very famous for some for gastroenterologist. So he will use this endoscope to identify any wounds are there or any ulcer is there in our stomach. So he will send a small camera through a wire inside our mouth. You can see this picture. So and he can locate where the ulcer is located, and in our small intestine, large intestine also we can identify it. So for that this endoscope is very important. Like that in building also, wherever the narrow location is there where we can't able to access, we can send this type of small cameras and we can identify what type of damage has happened. And next one is chisel and hammer. So it also plays a major role. Suppose if any damages occurred in a floor where it is covered by tiles, or a false ceiling is there, so that and all places where we can't able to see the crack directly, so we have to break that one. We have to remove the plastering, or we have to remove that tiles or marbles. Under that what type of crack it is formed, that only we can identify. Suppose you consider a first floor where a tile is laid, we don't know what type of failure has happened to that first floor slab. So it may be due to structural crack or some shrinkage cracks. To identify it correctly, we have to break that one and we have to see it. Either false ceiling also same type of one. And sometimes we can go for this microscope. Okay, crack with microscope, or so this is a crack with microscope, we can find what is the width. So this is used to identify the problems inside the concrete at micro level. You know about the alkali silica reaction, so where swelling will happen along the boundaries of the aggregate due to the poor quality aggregate and excess amount of alkalis in the cement. So that and all we can't see by our visualize. For that we can use this uh, microscope, and this is also another one can. So this will be like an license card or an Aadhaar card where the different markings will be there, 1 mm, 2 mm, 3 mm with crack. Instead of measuring by a tape, if we place this gauge to that, we can find out what is the width of the crack. And next one, portable microscope. It is also similar to a previous one what I discussed. And next one is good quality camera, because camera is very important. Wherever you find the distance, if you take a photo, we can have a visual inspection. When we go to the office, we can have a look at it once again, and we can identify the problem. And sometimes a temporary ladder or a scaffolding can also be used for that. Okay. So, as I told, the obstruction, the main obstructions are this false ceiling, okay, carpet area or paints, whatever is done. So, these are all the places, or if we have already done a repair work for that. So, all these things we have to remove, then only we can able to identify the problem. For example, if you have any wound in our body, how we can identify? Only by removing a shirt only we can know. So like that, whatever coverings we made in our structures, like this paint, carpet, false ceiling, this tile work, everything we have to remove. If we have a doubt, we have to remove by using this chisel and hammer, and we have to check it. Okay, so in this class we will see about the order. So which one I should see first and second, third. So like this order is there, this one we will see in next class.